Folks, welcome to Devil's Advocate Productions. On this space, I'm Alex. I'm the Devil's Advocate. I talk about movies, music, TV, video games, whatever I feel like talking about on this channel. And today, I'm very honored and lucky to be joined by Jessahn Amaru, YouTuber extraordinaire, rapper extraordinaire, who just put out his second album, I believe, A Million Hearts. And I think the first question, first of all, introduce yourself. To the people.
Yeah, so what's good, man? You know what I'm saying? I go by Jessahn Amaru. You know what I mean? I make content, I make music. I did just put a new album out called A Million Hearts a couple days ago. You know what I mean? Thanks for having me, bro.
Thank you. Thanks for reaching out, man. That was really kind of you. And I think that's the first question I have is I actually wrote some questions down, which I don't always do, but I was a little nervous to talk to you because I'm really a big fan.
That's love, bro. That's love, bro.
I did some research. So the first question I have is about your former name, Jalopy Bungus. Yeah. And where did you get that name, and why did you decide to switch it to your real name?
It's so funny because I came up with that name when I was in, I want to say 8th grade. And, I'm a troll. So I'll be trolling and stuff like that. So when I made that name, it was supposed to be on some funny stuff. And actually what inspired me was MF Doom. So MF Doom had like a whole bunch of, he had the alter egos. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I started. So when I started, I made a bunch of different rappers, right? And I was kind of trying to mimic MF Doom, and one of the alter egos was Jalopy Bungus. But it just so happened that the first song I ever recorded, I was using that one. Okay. So I just ended up going with that name. And but as far as like an actual putting together of the name, there was no like no thought. There's no nothing, I just said it and then it became
well, similarly to you, when I learned what a devil's advocate was around maybe like 9th grade, 10th grade, and I started making movies around that time, I locked in with Devil's Advocate Productions. I knew that one day I was going to have a production company or some kind of thing that was going to be Devil's Advocate. And this logo I made in high school, I even got it tattooed.
That's dope.
Just to see, I was like, oh, this will be my copyright. Because they can do carbon dating on the ink, and they'll know that. Like,
that's fire.
Yeah. So I was locked in, and then before I ever had a YouTube channel, I even thought of making YouTube. But yeah, I think that's a good transition to my next question. Where did your rap music journey begin? Like, what was the first album you got? What were your parents playing around the house? What you heard from friends and fans at school and whatnot?
So. Really, I think the first, according to my mom, I was a big fan of outside of like the obvious ones like Tupac and stuff like that. I was a huge fan of Ja Rule. Mm-hmm. That was a huge when I was a kid. But I think really, it was a lot of West Coast stuff. It was a lot of West Coast stuff, a lot of R&B, a whole lot of R&B. Yeah. And like soul. So like Erykah Badu, Sade, Lauryn Hill, like Monica.
Word, I remember.
My mom was like, she had the cuts. Like she was really, she had a very diverse music taste. And then on a rap end, it was like Tupac, Ice Cube, Too Short, Sugar Free, just a whole bunch of, West Coast. And some Midwest stuff. So then you had like Kanye, you had Common, you had it was kind of just that lane of like that conscious, but you know what I'm saying? Like that lane.
Might just been ratchet, as Screwface might say.
Yeah, right. And then and then a lot of West Coast stuff. So that's the stuff I grew up listening to. And I think the first time I ever wrote a rap, I was actually watching this. I was watching this movie called what was it called? It's with Eddie Griffin and Anthony Anderson.
I know what you're talking about. I'm gonna look it up.
they live in the same crib. It's like them and the white dude. I forgot the dude's name, but they live in the same crib. I think it's Baby Mama.
My Baby's Daddy.
Yes. That movie. I started
Oh,
watching that movie, and there's this little kid in the movie. I think he's like 10, and he, yes, exactly. Yep. Funny ass movie, but there's this little kid in the movie that is rapping. Like I think the white dude was trying to like sign him or something, and it's a little kid he rapping and stuff, and that was one of the things that had inspired me. I'm like, oh, it's a little kid rapping, like, you feel what I'm saying? So
I could do it too.
I started trying to write my own raps, and I would go outside of the neighborhood and stuff. Cause I'll be hanging out with older kids and stuff. So right. I'll be going outside and I'll be rapping and stuff. They're like, oh, you like. They used to call me Mini 50. So like, oh, you like 50 Cent, and you be rapping like, ah.
Mini 50, a quarter, if you will. Nickel.
Yeah, and then eventually, right. And eventually I started battling people, like freestyling at school and battling people and just, you know what I mean? And but yeah, that's pretty much when I start really officially start like writing some stuff on some paper and you know what I mean, trying it out for real.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's a journey. I'm gonna give you a little truncated version of my journey just so you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, let me know.
My dad, my dad's black, my mom's white, dad's Christian, mom's Jewish. I say it like that to differentiate because I believe like you can't be born into a religion. That's an ideology. Nobody is born with ideas.
Right.
And especially now with the whole thing going on with Israel, it's important for me as a Jew to be like, hey, I have no connection to this country.
Right.
We'll move on from that. We'll bring it back later with some of the lyrics on your album here.
Right. Yeah.
But my music journey, my dad was in a rock band when he was in high school in the 70s. AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Ozzy, Jimi Hendrix. You know, those are the big things that he was trying to get me into when I was a kid. Yeah. I was very resistant to music, just generally. I was very much more like an animation guy, cartoons, TV, movies, stuff like that. The first time I ever said, hey, Dad, can we go to the store and get this album? Was I heard Weird Al Yankovic. And I loved Weird Al because I loved the idea of parody, satire, make a comedy, making fun of something that people take so seriously and being like, it's not that serious. I can make the first song I heard was Eat It, which is a parody of Michael Jackson's Beat It, which is, I guess, against about like gang violence and whatnot. And he's talking about like, eat your dinner. It's getting cold. So that's where I'm coming from. I grew up, I'm about 10 years older than you, grew up here in New York in the 90s. So I'm around rap. My blonde-haired, blue-eyed white friend was the rap connoisseur in my neighborhood. And he was letting me know about Biggie, Tupac, and Jay-Z and Eminem growing up. Eminem became like, oh, that I can also get into because I never like my dad. My dad's the type of black dude who's like, do not say the N-word because that is, no matter what, the white man is laughing at you for saying it.
Right.
So like, and so he hated Will Smith. He thought Will Smith was like a minstrel kind of like he hated the Fresh Prince. I know, it's crazy. Like he's the most inoffensive one. But like hearing Eminem not brag about how much money he has, how many women he has, what, you know, all this stuff and being like, no, I hate my mom and I'm broke. And I'm like, I can identify with that. So that's where I'm coming from. And about like, you know, I listened to a lot of rock music and stuff in high school and growing up. And then just like whatever would come across, especially after like Kazan LimeWire, like, oh, I'm just downloading songs here and there. Whatever I hear at a party that I like, you know, crunk era, that kind of stuff, 3 6 Mafia, Lil Jon, all that. And then I kind of like just fell out of music altogether in like the 2010s, all the way through to about 2024.
I had an interesting phase like that too, so I feel you.
Yeah, right. I was all about podcasts for a long time.
Yeah,
listening to like Kevin Smith, one of my favorite filmmakers, podcast, Bill Burr, stuff like that. And then 2024 in March, I see this little back and forth on Twitter, like, oh, Drake and Kendrick Lamar going at it. Okay, good luck, Kendrick. Because all I knew about Kendrick was swimming pools. That's all I knew. I was like, I remember him on SNL. He did a good job. Good for him. Yeah. And Drake was in my face. You know, he's in commercials. He's on SNL. He's just everywhere. And then there's weird stories. He's braiding his hair, got the grill, Millie Bobby Brown, all this stuff. So I'm like, too much of him. You know, he needs to be taken down a peg. Later in the year, Eminem drops Houdini, the music video. And I'm like, he's back. Let me lock in. I'm going to listen to this album. It also has to do with me and my fiance in 2022. She is a big music lover. That Sex Pistols poster in the background, the CBGB's thing. She's a punk rocker. She played at CBGB's before they closed. So like, dope. Getting into music again. I'm like, okay, let me pay attention now to one of my favorites, Eminem. Death of Slim Shady comes out. I'm like, holy shit, this is great. I buy it. First album I ever bought on Apple Music. Everything else, I'm taking. You know, sailing the seven seas, if you will.
Right.
And then I find reaction channels. I didn't know these existed. I knew they existed for movies and TV, which I'm also like, how the hell are you getting around DMCA with this?
Yeah.
But then I found music reaction channels. So then I'm just consuming. Then I get a recommendation in the algorithm for the music video for Not Like Us. And I'm like, oh, I remember this happening earlier this year.
Yeah.
And I remember this one in particular being talked about as pretty great. Let me throw this on. Immediately blown away.
Yeah.
Immediately consuming everybody's reaction to it, going back and listening to the other stuff. Then going on a journey of like, okay, let me dive into Eminem. For all, you know, his criticisms, he always be shouting out the people who inspired him. He never lets people forget. I won't be here without the people who came before me. So I'm like, let me go listen. Let me take your recommendation, M, and go listen to Wu-Tang and Nas and all these things that it was around. I probably had heard in the background, but I never sat down and locked in.
It really locked in on the deep cuts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. So that's where I'm coming from. If I have gaps in my knowledge, that's why.
That's fine. That's fine. And I think too, your testimony reminded me too. Actually, my mom rapped and sang. So my mom actually was rapping a lot, and I think subconsciously that was influencing me too, because I would hear her all the time in the shower rapping verses that she wrote bar for bar, and they were pretty good. Like I think about the verses that she had, like, and I think about them now. I'm like, damn, she had like some interesting flow patterns. Like she could really rap.
That's really cool.
And she had a message with her raps. So then she could also really sing. So I think, that's another thing. I think my mom was also a big influence too, as far as she's the one that taught me what a 16 was.
Wow.
She taught me what a 16 bar verse was. She like showed me like, and I still, when I write, like I still like actually, I think I have I still write the exact same way that I used to write when I was a kid, where it was a song I crossed out, but I still number the bars.
That's really cool.
And that's exactly how my mom taught me. She's like, well, there's 16 lines, and if you ever want to break it down, just number it by the line on the paper. And when you reach the 16, that means you're done, and then you move on to the hook. And then so she taught me like formatting a
That's
song.
really, really good to have at home. Yeah. You know, I'm in the film arena. When I was a kid, I'm making jackass movies with my friends in the backyard. Yeah. And at school, I learned, you can actually edit footage together with Final Cut Pro. At home, they got me Adobe Premiere back when you can buy it and you didn't need a fucking subscription for it. Yeah. And I could actually practice at home. So as troubled as the relationship I have with my parents, I do appreciate them encouraging me with whatever I was interested in at the time, whether it be getting me pads and pencils when I was drawing or, software to try out making movies and stuff. But when it comes to influences, I like that segue that we got there. Yeah. Your mom being a huge influence on you, that's really cool. Teaching you the technique, the format. But I hear, especially on the track like Makaveli, I mean, throughout this whole album, very Tupac esque beats. Love the beats, by the way. Who made these beats? Because these are fire, dude.
Yeah, my homie Alexander Williams. I met him. I want to say I met him 2024. I know 2024, and actually we had been following each other for a while, but I can't remember how we finally interacted. But once we finally interacted, we were just like, yeah, bro, let's work. Boom, boom. He sent me a couple beats, and then I told him, I'm like, yeah, like I kind of want to go in this direction. Like I kind of want to bring back the vibe of, you know what I'm saying, like the 90s. Like I kind of want to go for the millennials and the Gen Xers, and you know what I mean? I kind of want them to I kind of want to go in that direction because I feel like that's kind of the soul of what my music, like where my music is, like what I grew up listening to. And
it works so well.
Right, yeah. And I think we fit perfectly in that, because once he starts sending them, I'm like, bruh, I didn't even have to get specific. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
That's great when that works together.
Yeah, and then we just started creating song after song after song after song. Some beats he sent me that I didn't even really like. Sapio was something where it was like he had just sent me that one day, and I just heard it and I was like, damn, like okay. It was just it was, but songs like Makaveli, songs like even Rose, like just that real like West Coast, old school West Coast kind of feel to it, but like modernized. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the energy that we was going for, and that's kind of what we.
Sapio is one of my favorites.
That's love.
And Rose, or is it Rose the one that you're singing on?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, look at him singing, man. He's showing versatility.
Yeah.
In this 2+ year journey of like really getting back into music, especially hip hop and rap, the art of putting together an album, I feel like is not lost. People are keeping it alive, and I'm glad, because man, it matters. It matters what order something in. It matters that everything feels cohesive. It can feel very different from song to song, but it feels like it should all be on one album. And I think you did a great job with this one. The beats are fucking fantastic. I couldn't get over it when I was reacting to it.
Yeah, I had. As a matter of fact, actually, while you asking me, and the reason why I haven't really made this a public thing is because I really wanted the music to speak for itself. But I got Alexander Williams on there for most of the production. He's like, I want to say 70% of the production. And then I got some individual beats from Bardo. I think one, God Why, and Say Amora was God Why. And then external did Let Me Peace and Heaven's Gate. But I got 2 beats from Rascal. And a lot of people don't know because I haven't really made it a thing. But Rascal actually produced on GNX, and he produced on Casino. He also produced on Isaiah Rashad's recent album. He produced Get to Know You. He produced on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Savior. He has a lot of incredible credits. You know what I'm saying? So when we started working, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? But I think but it's a lot more that we got coming too that I'm excited.
Ooh, good tease, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I was gonna say it you know, I didn't want to. I get self-conscious when I'm making reactions or even talking about this stuff, where I'm like always comparing to Eminem or Kendrick, because that's what has been on my mind since 2024. But man, it really did feel like GNX. That, like you said, bringing back that West Coast sound, that bouncy, really bouncy. I don't know how else to describe it. Bouncy, 90s R&B inspired. I felt, matter of fact, when I was listening to it earlier before this interview, so I could find specific lines. Again, I'm prepared. I was thinking about Isaiah Rashad's. It's been awful, just in the terms of like speaking truth, and here it is laid bare. Take it or leave it. Like, this is how it's been, and I'm gonna just say it out and out. And I'm good at transitions, if I say so myself.
Yeah.
Speaking of putting on the line, how did the song that I reacted to a couple months ago that you put out, and I saw you talk about on Culture United, how did Fuck Ice happen? Was that the first one? Man. And did you know that it was gonna be a part of this album when you made it?
It's so funny, man. Fuck Ice is so funny. And I think that's one of the biggest missteps that I had in this whole process.
Interesting.
Not the song itself, but when I put it out, that was a misstep, because I think, no, it actually was not a misstep, but it was. Like, it wasn't a misstep in a sense of the timing. It just felt like this is important right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like with the traction it had on social media and stuff, I think it would have been smarter to put it out around the project. But actually, F Ice is an older song.
Oh, yeah?
I wrote F Ice in February of 2025.
Okay.
So I wrote F Ice, I think it was February of 2025, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been late 2024. It's between November and February of 2024, November 2024 and February 2025. And,
what happened? Did something big happen in that time period?
Right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. So it was a lot of and the thing is, what a lot of people don't know is I live in Arizona. So these things are not new to me, right? Like, what I lived through the Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
I was going to say the Papers, Please, Sheriff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, man, like, I used to go to school with people, and people are getting pulled out of class, and people being like, people's parents are like that. That's been a thing out here since I was in middle school. The ICE kind of is where they introduced the uniform almost, right? Yeah. So it's something that's been close to home, especially considering the fact that I grew up around a lot of Mexican people, and how they usually are in propaganda. They're usually the ones that are targeted in the propagated message, even though it hits more people, but it's the propagated message is towards Latinas, Latinos, etc. So it was really just like on my mind, like I'm just like, well, hip hop, it comes to the last line. Who's gonna talk about this shit if hip hop won't? So I felt like we just don't have enough of the raw message, right? Where it's like it's just raw. Like, we have a lot. At times we have, like, we might talk about police brutality and stuff like that, but in my mind, it's almost like like they've given people the go ahead on. Like, it's almost feel like police brutality has become a subject in music where it's just okay now.
Yeah,
it's not really a challenging much at this point, and I think that's because it's so sensationalized that, like, especially through like 2015 and like that whole era and all that with the Trayvon Martins and the or not
Eric
even
Garner,
Trayvon, but the Mike Browns, and
so
a lot of that stuff in those type of scenarios kind of got sensationalized to where the point, like, it kind of got I don't really know how to explain it, but things like talking about ICE and talking about the wars, like, these are the things that I don't think they want people to talk about. I don't think they want people to be talking about the wars going on in the world.
Yeah.
They want people, and you can look at all like the previous musicians who talk about war and what happens to them. When you look at the Michael Jacksons and the Tupacs, and what I mean, it's plenty of people who took the time to make the music, Lupe, who make the music about the things going on globally. And I don't think they want that to happen. So I think really it's like, to represent hip hop in its fullest, it's to speak on these things, especially if they affect you or affect people around you. You got to speak on it. And the way I wanted to do, I'm like, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it, not only make the song about it, but make it entertaining and make it feel good and make it a good time, and make sure the message feels unifying between all people. So it didn't matter what you look like, with black, white, Mexican, whoever you are, like the number one connector is, you know what I'm saying, standing for the rights of human beings and humanity. You know what I'm saying? That first.
Human rights. I think to FD Signifier, shout out FD, on that Culture United episode where they went through that song. And he was like, I love that the hook is positive. The hook isn't, I compare it in my head to like YG's Fuck Donald Trump, where it's like, that's the hook, is fuck that motherfucker. Right. But the hook on yours is I'm cool with everybody. It's positive.
Yes.
It's like, hey, man, this is a unifying message. The gangsters, the nerds, anyone from the cities to the burbs. I'm cool with everybody. I love that, too. And it's also not, because they're coming for everybody. They're coming for all of us.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of people, we just so long as they target criminals, so long as they target, it's like, well, what's a criminal? They'll define that for you. Here's Stephen Miller coming out with like, anyone who's protesting a data center, anyone who's criticizing Donald Trump is a criminal. Now we can deport you. Right, a terrorist, worse. Yeah. I mean, there's people in Texas getting charged 100-year sentences for graffiti.
Yeah.
Insanity. So yeah, I wrote down the lines. Who gonna follow the law when the leaders don't? Who gonna speak on it? Hip hop won't. And this made me go like, where else? Again, going through like all of Eminem's albums. And then the last one, after I started making reactions, first reaction I made was GNX. And then when I got to, I made a reaction to Revival, because I had heard that everybody hated Revival. And I listened to it. I understand the criticisms, but at least he fucking tried. At least you put out a whole project being like, fuck Donald Trump and anybody who supports him. Right. And I appreciated that. I remember that cypher he did on BET, which was also like a little like, all right, acapella freestyle. But again, where is everybody? We went from fuck the police to hanging out with Bill Maher, giving him the pass for saying the N-word. Ice Cube, why are you doing that? I'm sorry, but it goes into the importance. Speaking of Culture United, I was watching last night and they were talking about hip hop in this age of like late stage capitalism and speaking out politically in art. And I think to people like Kneecap, the Irish rap trio, who I really dig. They're great.
I haven't heard of them.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. They came out with a new album this year. And Brian Andrews, who's a country artist, who's been like, hey, the country founders, like Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, they were always against the cops, against the establishment. Like, where did this bootlicking country come from? He's trying to take it back to the roots. With his little EP called Independence Day that came out on July 3rd. I think to Vince Staples' Crybaby. Can't stop listening to that album.
Fire album.
Fire. And then like actors like Mark Ruffalo, Javier Bardem, Hannah Einbender. I'm going to throw this up for a second. This is Mark Ruffalo put out a statement against the Paramount Warner Brothers merger and was called anti-Semitic because the people who own Paramount are the Ellisons and they're Zionists, and they try to conflate Zionism and anti-Semitism, which are two different things. But here's Marissa Tomei standing up for him when all of the other Avengers are not assembling. But Marissa Tomei, Aunt May, said the First Amendment Committee rejects this cynical attempt to falsely label Mark Ruffalo as anti-Semitic and sees through their effort to distract from the issue at hand the dangerous consolidation of media power that would result from the proposed Paramount Warner Brothers merger. Mark is an artist who has chosen to use his influence to fight for democracy, human rights, free speech, and the future of the media industry. We stand with Mark. Marissa Tomei. Marissa Tomei?
Well, when was this?
Oh, this was today. She put this.
Oh,
up.
Wow.
Yeah. This is after like a week or two of Mark Ruffalo getting it from Paramount, other people in Hollywood going, oh, he's so anti-Semitic. He should be canceled, blah, blah, blah. you know, he's been standing on business for years, way before he was the Hulk.
Right.
But he, you know, I don't know. Him and like Susan Sarandon are the only people from Hollywood, and Hannah Einbender, I guess, who's kind of a younger actress. I don't really know much of her work, but these are the only people I see consistently speaking out against things, and not just on an award stage. And then, okay, I'm going to go back to like being quiet. And I think, you know, my question for you is, why aren't more people speaking out? Is it strictly just they don't want to fuck up the bag, or is it something more nefarious, I think?
So I think one of the things that I think I had the luxury of, and why I'm honestly like in this state of gratitude, like where I'm at currently as an artist, especially because I feel like I'm starting over. Like this is like a debut project under my name. So I think one of the things I'm grateful for is the fact that I'm in a position where nobody can take anything from me right now.
Right.
So I can say whatever I want. And I want to continue to build that type of infrastructure where if I have to be a part of something where I can't say what I want to say, then I don't want to be a part of it for real. Right. So the thing is, I think a lot of artists on that level are in positions where the game is so much different than it was before. I think there's so many different chains and guidelines and boom, boom, where you can't really be the industry, and I think, you know, the powers that be that control the media and all that, they seen what happens when you get individuals who are outspoken or individuals who have certain lineage and they get involved in entertainment and they are electrifying or they are charismatic or whatever. They can lead large groups of people to believe in one ideology or one thing or go against another. And I think that they don't want that type of thing to happen anymore. So I think there's a lot more guidelines and like checks and just specific things in place to make sure that people are not doing that and aren't speaking on these things, whether that's censoring songs, making people redo songs, making sure that whatever, I don't know, maybe it's in people's contracts, I don't know, but I do think it's because of the things that people will lose. And you know, I'll say this, I'll actually say this, I put some of the responsibility on the audience because the audience leaves the individual who speaks for them for dead.
Right.
And I believe that the audience controls everything. I believe that the audience doesn't understand how much they control. If let's say the guy, right? The guy that we were just talking about, right? If everybody who knows of this and is into movies and all these different things rallies behind him publicly, and you have this massive difference in people who are supporting him because of what he's standing for versus people who are not, I think it's a lot harder to censor him. It's a lot harder to whatever, right? But if the people who are trying to put a check on his influence are easily able to destroy his reputation, destroy how people look at him, and destroy the things that he and destroy the image and the reputation that he's built by feeding the audience propaganda that turns them against him, then it's not even going to be that difficult. All you got to do is just throw these labels or whatever that are deemed as socially unacceptable at this individual, and now you've controlled the perception of that individual, which then weakens their influence, which then allows you to do whatever you're about to do to them and get away with it. Because once you get rid of the influence, people stop seeing these celebrities as human beings,
right?
And they start seeing them as, well, he did this, so he's not human no more. Right. So go ahead, you can do whatever you want to him. And that's a very like calculated breakdown of celebrity that I think keeps all of them in check and keeps a lot of them from saying the things that they otherwise probably would have said. Now, if you really believe in something, you obviously challenge that anyway. Right. And you say, fuck it. If I am gonna lose this, there's gonna be some people that believe in what I said. But I also believe it's way easier said than done when you're actually in that position.
For sure, absolutely. I mean, we saw how much they rallied around Jimmy Kimmel when he was they threw him off the air. How much they rallied around Colbert, but they didn't challenge too much. They were just saying "fuck Donald Trump."
Yes, and that's
when
easy.
it comes to when it comes to challenging the Democratic establishment, they go, oh, what are you doing? Criticizing Joe Biden. What are you doing? Criticizing Kamala Harris for not distancing herself from the genocide that began under Joe Biden's leadership. You know, I mean, it's, and you see what's happening now with the Twitch streamer. That's been a story since March. Hassan Piker. Have you not seen this?
Hassan Piker? Who's that?
Okay, well, that's brand new. So Hassan Piker, I'm gonna pull him up for you. He has been a news story since at least March, and seems to be the main thing that Republicans and establishment Democrats want to talk about. This guy. Have you not seen him?
Oh, I've seen this guy before.
Okay, so
I didn't know what he did though, but yeah, I've seen him before.
So he streams on Twitch. He streams on Twitch for 8 hours every single day, 7 days a week. I don't know how he does it.
Whoa,
I know, crazy. And watches the news essentially. Just switches between like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, clips from Breitbart or Vox or whatever outlets that are stories, and Twitter, and can jump on the fly. Has like 30,000 people watching live at a time, millions more watching clips and stuff, and has been campaigning this at least this past year or two. He was very vocal about Zohran Mamdani here in New York. And also very vocal about supporting DSA candidates. And the Democrats fucking hate that, right? We saw how much they hated the idea of Zohran becoming mayor. They ran Andrew Cuomo, who was ousted from governor because of sexual harassment charges and, well, not charges, accusations, and allegedly, and putting COVID patients into nursing homes during the lockdowns because fuck it, they're old, they might die anyway. That again, allegedly, but that's why they were going to impeach him, and then he resigned so that he didn't have that embarrassment. Went away for like a couple years, and then came back and was like, "Hey, let me be the mayor." And DSA and progressives here in New York organized against that. We have ranked choice voting here, where we can like, hey, there's 5 slots, rank these candidates. All the candidates cross-endorsed each other. And that's how we got Zohran Mamdani to win the primary, which was a huge celebration over here on this space. We had a live election watch party, and we're shocked that they called it early. Like we thought we were going to have to wait a couple of days, but it was a blowout. So that was in the debate with Zohran Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo brought up Hassan Piker. He pals around with this guy. Hassan streams for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. He's been doing it for over 10 years. You know what it's like being on a stream where you're just saying shit, and sometimes it might not come out in the most articulate way or the exact way you wanted to say it. So he's got his own streamer enemies, right? People that are beefing with him for whatever reason, who have for years obsessed over him, cut clips so that in the worst possible context, clips where he's like responding to chatters and mocking them, but like the words coming out of his mouth could be construed like if you had 2 brain cells to rub together, he was responding to somebody.
Right.
I didn't want to even like talk about him, but it's just shocking to me that you didn't know who he was, considering he's been on the news, at least being talked about. They won't bring him on because, again, if they let him on and he can actually use his own voice, then people might not find him that scary. But if they talk about him, then they can try and paint a narrative exactly like what you were talking about, right? Like having Mark Ruffalo,
not having him. That's one of those tactics, like being able to talk about somebody and break them down, but not have that conversation with them on a person-to-person basis, because you would realize people would probably realize, like, wait a minute, y'all might be tripping about this guy. Like,
I mean, you've heard of DSA, right? Democratic Socialists of America.
Yeah.
So they're also trying to be like, oh, I mean, there's a lot of black influencers calling. I call them Tobies now, because I just listened to Jira. I don't know if you know Jira's. He's a rapper too. He put out a project today called Rope Burn. And on the last song, he's like, a lot of people acting like Kuta Kintes are really Tobies. And I'm like, that's a really great way to put that. A lot of folks being like DSA's anti-black, DSA's it's too white. It's a bunch of rich white college kids doing this again to try and de-incentivize people from looking into it. Oh, I don't have to look into DSA. I can just assume that they're full of white kids from college, and I don't have to pay attention to them, and I can disregard any candidate that is endorsed by them. Again, trying to stop the power of the people, whereas you could just go to DSA's website and look at their platform and click on any of these things and see what they're talking about. Now, I just think that like again, I think the Vince Staples, man, that Crybaby album speaks to me in a way so much. That was the first Vince Staples I ever listened to, and I'm going to see him live now in October because I'm like, I got to see this live. This is amazing. And I just think like exactly like you said. If you believe it, you speak out whether or not it's convenient for you. And if you don't, we're going to look at you sideways. I'm going to look at you sideways. Now, there's also another side to that where, like, I remember Bill Burr, one of my favorite comedians, got a lot of flack for going to the Riyadh Comedy Festival. And then I saw Gabriel Iglesias get a star on the Walk of Fame. And in his speech, he was like, people said Fluffy sold out. And I'm like, yeah, I sold out. I want to get a bigger house. He is saying to you, I don't really care. I'm going to do my comedy. I'm going to do my dance, get my money. That's it. I don't want to talk about politics. And I think that's kind of okay. But I also think, all right, then I'm not going to take you seriously if you ever want to start talking about politics or whatever, because that's going to get brought up. Like a lot of Twitch streamers just play video games. A lot of YouTubers just do that thing on their channel, and that's it. They don't want to talk about, they might talk about, the Snyderverse movies, the DC Snyderverse movies, but not explain like, well, the reason why James Gunn is in charge now is because the Republicans were mad that Roseanne got fired, so they bullied Disney. Like that's what my channel is. Like I talk about movies, TV, video games, and music, and all art is inherently political. So if it comes up, I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to shy away from it like other channels. So yeah, sorry for going on that rant.
No, you good. You good. I think too, like I was saying, I think a lot more artists and people would be willing to speak up if they knew the people would get behind them.
Yeah.
Or if they knew that the people genuinely were support them. Like imagine if right, I get the only thing that I can think of is when in '93 when Tupac shoots the two off-duty police officers. You find out the police officers, and he beats the case. That as at the profile that he was at, that automatically is sending a message to all of America that challenging authority is acceptable. Challenging authority is whatever. And so immediately, that's when the shit starts going downhill. Immediately. Yeah. And the case all the way to him getting shot, I would say assassination attempt, a bunch of different stuff, right? Especially because when you think about the lineage to the Panthers and all this different stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So imagine if during that time, people did a group fund when they took all of because Tupac has an interview where he says, I can't get a place anymore. I can't live anywhere. They took my cars. They took my my deals. They took my gigs. They took my home, my properties. I don't have anything. Imagine if the people who love Tupac or the people who love hip hop or the people who say they want people to speak up like that, put together a group fund and they supported Tupac at that time. I think that type, like the audience doesn't understand that when we push these these creators or these people with influence to do these things. Our part is to support them when they're cut off.
Right.
And if we're
that's a
not
really
willing
good
to,
point.
and if we're not willing to do that, they're not going to be willing to come out and stand up for us. It's really like Rome. It's literally just like Rome. Like the celebrity in Rome was in the same similar position where it's like you don't have the people and you are not necessarily in favor of the establishment. So you're in this empty middle space where the only thing you can really do is entertain. And if you want to get your message across in any way, you have to do it in a way where it's like a Negro spiritual almost. You can't really be heard or be seen doing it. It has to be in a hidden message. So I think it's a two-way street. We need people with power and influence to speak on things that really matter, not the things that are acceptable to say, like fuck Trump and all that. Like that's acceptable. But the things that honestly, genuinely matter, like the everyday people in our society and what we need and what, you know what I'm saying? And that's really what and the things that are going on that we're implicated in because we live in America and we vote for these people that end up making these things happen across the globe. And when they say something, it's then our turn as a consumer to say, once they cut them off and try to silence them, we're going to come together and hold them up.
Right.
And I guarantee you more celebrities will be willing to come outside and say something.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. That's kind of the project here going on this space. We are a working class media collective. We're live Monday through Thursday. The idea is to eventually turn it into like a 24/7 streaming like leftist news network.
Fire.
That's just tons of different hosts. And if each of our platforms, maybe somebody's got 1,000 followers like me. I just hit 1,000 followers on
Congratulations,
YouTube.
Bro.
Thank you, man. After 2 years, like that is, I didn't think I would get that far. But like somebody's got 200,000 followers. Somebody's got 10,000 followers on Instagram. We all come to this space. We all try to lift each other up. A rising tide lifts all boats, as they say. That's the kind of idea, so that nobody, and again, another idea further down the line is like get our own domain. So we're not relying on YouTube. If YouTube decides, hey, we don't want to have any lefty stuff on our platform.
Yeah, because that
stuff like that
definitely, can't happen.
Right.
For sure.
And the reason I bring up Hassan Piker is, you know, he put out like a message going like, hey, Democrats, I know you're like attacking me, but you're gonna have to defend me at one point, because if you want to unite to actually beat these fascists, we actually have to do the thing that the electeds are doing. 2 primary elections just happened. Abdul El Sayed in Michigan for Senate, and Francesca Hong in Wisconsin for governor. Francesca Hong lost. David Crowley won. The establishment, she immediately endorsed him. Abdul El Sayed in Michigan won. The progressive won. Haley Stevens, the centrist, lost. She immediately endorsed him. Those people understand the mission. The mission is, okay, we hash out our differences in the primary. The voters choose. Whatever the voters choose, we line up behind and we fucking fight the Republican. It's the media class, the consultant class, the lobbyists, the people whose pockets are about to get a little light if these policies get through, if these candidates get through, if we can fucking end Citizens United and get money out of politics, then it's not going to be a lot of money to go around to pay these useless fucks to sit around and give bad advice to candidates. And they're going to be accountable not to big donors, not to corporations. They're going to be accountable to us. And that's like what you're saying. We got to uplift them when the establishment leaves them alone so that we can get them into power, and then they are accountable to us. They're not accountable to the other establishment people. They're not trying to make deals with Nancy Pelosi or Mike Johnson or whatever. They are trying to fight them both to get the interest of the people into law. So let me get on to my next question. That was a good discussion.
Of course.
So you said, so was Fuck Ice always going to be a part of A Million Hearts? And what does A Million Hearts mean?
Yeah, so I had a completely different idea initially for A Million Hearts. It was gonna be called A Million, it's been called A Million Hearts since like 2025. Now, the thing is, a lot of these songs were made while I was still under the jalopy bungus. So it's like a transitional period. I would say this project is. It's like the transition. Um, and I think that Fuck Ice was always going to be on the project. It was actually supposed to be, before I put it out as a single, it was supposed to be like one of the first tracks, like track 2.
Word.
Yeah, it was supposed to go like A Million Kisses and then Fuck Ice. That was like the original form. When I first put the project together, it was a whole different format. It was go A Million Kisses, Fuck Ice, Like Makaveli. It was a whole different format. And yeah, as time went on and delays happened and stuff, and then there's gonna be a point where I wasn't even gonna put it out and I was gonna move on to the next project. But I'm like, nah, I get to honor what was created in that time. So and then A Million Hearts to me is just the representation of that same message in Fuck Ice. That's really what it is. It's the million hearts, a million people, a million people who hearts are open, a million people who have compassion for others, a million people who been through something, a million people who feel deeply, a million people who have empathy. You know what I'm saying? A million people who want to live a better timeline, a million people who want to follow their dreams, a million, and it's that's all you need in my mind is a million hearts, a million dedicated hearts to push any honest message or perspective or whatever. So that's kind of how I was looking at it. Like A Million Hearts is just a representation of all of it's a message of unification. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think the project represents. I think top to bottom, it's not just like I think anybody can listen to this and feel like I'm talking to them. I feel like anybody can listen to this and feel like I'm sharing their message. I'm like, it's not geared towards one section of individuals or whatever. It's like something where it's so many different types of people who've heard this so far. And it hasn't blown up or nothing, but I'm saying like it's so many different types of people who've heard it that come from different backgrounds, people who don't even listen to hip hop, people who are hip hop heads, people who are, you know,
newbies like me. Yeah.
Newbies. So like it represents all different types of people. And I think that's really what the Million Hearts comes from. It's just like that idea of everybody and everything, you know what I mean? And
I like
existing in the same vacuum.
That's really cool. And let me ask you another question about the cover here. What is I'm not like I said, I'm half Jewish, half Christian, but the extent of my religiosity is celebrating Christmas and Hanukkah.
Yeah.
But what is Corinthians 5.7? What is this?
So we walk by faith, not by sight.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what it is. It's like it's the trust in the thing, and the trust in what you can't see. It's the trust in
a better tomorrow.
A better tomorrow is the trust in everything. The trust in what you can't see and leaning into that and believing in whatever you believe in. That's another thing that I think I touched on in the project too. On In Love With My Scars. Is actually, can you bring that back up? Because I want to tell you that I want to tell you the story of how this came together because it's funny. But and then I'll break it down. But it's funny because I had a completely different cover art for the project, and it was actually ass, and it was extremely ass. And I had it for years, and I didn't show, not years, but I had it for like a year. I didn't really show nobody or nothing. I had a private listening party. And I showed everybody the cover art, and they were like, "Bruh, that doesn't fit this at all." Like, I was like, "Really?" And they were like, "Yeah, no, bruh." And I was like, "Damn, I gotta find new cover art." So one of my homegirls, right around this same time, like I wish everybody could have seen how this project came together in the last moments because it was almost like divine how everything was coming together. My homegirl in the last moment, she had came to a show of mine, and I was wearing this shirt. And she was just taking pictures that she never thought to tell any of us about for months or whatever. And I'd never seen this picture before until my private listening party. she's showing everybody the pictures. Oh yeah, like look, and then everybody's like, wait, is that Jessahn? And everybody was like, yeah, dude, Jessahn, come here, bro.
That's
Look,
the album.
this is the cover art.
That's great.
And I was like, really? So you can't even. I was like, you can't even really see me. Like they were like, bro, this is it, bro. This is how I feel. This is the vibe of the album. Like it feels
wow.
like boom, boom. And I was like, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute, it got the Corinthians on there, and that's what a lot of the songs kind of represent. Is like that faith in essence of the writing. In songs like God, why? Like it's like, give me the spirit to survive. God, why did you get? It's like I don't have the answer for this, but I'm trusting and I'm walking. And that's kind of like how a good amount of these songs preach. So that's how that cover art came together. And you can bring it down now if you want. But now I think the funny thing is in the song "In Love and My Scars," I think one thing I really wanted to get across too is like, wow, I feel like I think it's still sometimes hard for me to call myself a Christian because I don't really know, because I believe in Jesus' message and I believe in Jesus' teachings for sure, and I believe in God, but I'm still kind of like, does it need the ideology or the religion behind it for me to believe in that? And I think in the song when I say sometimes I wonder what Jesus really meant, because I need a message without all that religious shit.
I wrote like that line down.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's one of my favorite lines of the album, because I wanted to speak to people who are in that conflicted stage of, damn, I really do align with this message. I do align with, you know what I'm saying? I do feel like even it, because, people like kind of assimilate like Christianity and the Bible as if they're one thing. And I think a lot of people don't really understand, like, the Christianity and stuff comes so much later in the Bible. And a lot of the stuff in the Bible you can believe and follow and really and not connect yourself to the Christian religion. And I almost wanted to use that message to be like, Jesus' message is bigger than Christianity.
Yeah. I mean, Christian nationalists are the one who are going like, if you don't, they're saying, like, people like Stephen Miller, Mike Pence, if you're not a religious person, then you have no morality. You have no reason not to just murder and rape across the world. And they go, well, if you need a book of fiction stories, a book of stories, moral tales, to tell you that murder is bad, maybe you need more education, or maybe your your parents didn't do a great job. Maybe it's a different problem than not just having a cross in your house or around your neck or something.
Right. Because that's when it becomes more, because, you always hear about it, man. You always hear about people, talking about, like this person, like, they claim to follow the Christian, which is supposed to be, if you're a Christian, that means you follow the teachings of Jesus and you believe that he rose and that he was resurrected and all this stuff. And in my mind, I'm just like, and I'm like, damn, like, I don't, and I grew up Christian, so I have this back and forth of like, damn, if I don't believe that, I'm probably going to hell. But then I had this, like, naturally though, to me, it feels like, sometimes it feels like people took his message and made a religion out of it. Not that he made a message and that was the religion, but that people took his message and they loved it, and he was powerful and all the different stuff in his messaging, and then they turned it into a religion, which then becomes an excuse to do a lot of fuck shit.
Right.
Like murder people and commit genocide. And the bodies behind the Christian religion, like, bruh, there's a lot of bodies behind that religion. And I'm like, a lot of the ways in which, and that doesn't mean every Christian at the same time, right? But it just means the message is used and manipulated to commit some of the worst atrocities on the fucking planet. Especially when we talk about slavery and how that was used to mentally manipulate Black people to not only not resist what was happening, but to wait for a return in order to, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature, in order to take control of their own experience. When really, I feel like Jesus was saying, this is your experience. Like the heaven is within you. Like the experience that you want to create and the timeline that you want to create is based on your decisions. Not like, oh yeah, I believe in Jesus, I believe in God. Now I can just sit back and, you're not doing this and you're not doing that. No, it's a walk that you get to walk and you get to experience and you get to feel. And as you fall in love with humanity and you fall in love with mankind, and not to the point of just trusting mankind, but loving your neighbor and wanting compassion and wanting to speak for people who aren't getting the things that they deserve, wanting to fight for human rights. Yeah. Then you start to understand Jesus' message.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
so
again,
like
I call myself a Christian. I call myself a Jew. These are things my parents are. They didn't take me to temple or church. I remember asking my mom if I could have a bar mitzvah when all my friends were having bar mitzvahs in school. Yeah. And she was like, well, you want to go to temple and do like study the Torah, basically do extra homework on the weekends? I was like, nope, never mind. Never mind. I'll just take money for my 13th birthday. That's Jewish enough. But I still, because every year I light the menorah for those 8 days. Every year I celebrate Christmas with my family, and that's as much as I need. Like, because my moral compass mostly comes from South Park and comic books, and it's about the same shit as Jesus was talking about. Love each other, stand up for the weak. True masculinity is standing up for people who can't stand up for themselves. You know, be a good guy, Superman shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, protect your body, protect your vessel. Like, health. It's a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And
I got the CPAP now. I'm trying.
Yeah, and I know, and I want to clarify too. Like, I just have no issue with nobody's religious perspective. The issues I have is how the powers that be use these religions in order to destroy the fucking world.
Yes.
Like that's my problem. But I love people when they follow.
We see what Israel's doing in the name of Judaism. I mean, again, they are purposefully trying to use that as a shield. And fomenting anti-Semitism across the world. Israel is by trying to tie, hey, everything we're doing, that's in the name of all the Jewish people on earth. And I'm here like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah. I believe in Green Lantern. I believe in Green Lantern's light and the willpower to be able to make change.
And it's the last thing, and it's really the last thing I want to say on that part is that, to your point, when it comes to even just I guess if I'm talking to Jesus, if I was able to talk to Jesus directly, I just have a very and I'm just a random guy. I have a very strong fucking feeling that I would not need to tell him I am a Christian.
Right.
That is something in my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I wouldn't need to, if I talk to God, I would, yes, I'm a Christian. I just have a very strong feeling around that probably doesn't really matter that much.
I remember this. I can't remember who it was, but this old comedian did this great joke. It might have been Gaffigan, but he did a joke going like, when Jesus comes back, don't you think that he'd be a little freaked out seeing the instrument of his death around everyone's necks? Like, I was nailed to that. That's not why is that your symbol? Why isn't it like me or like a happy face? Or you ever see Dogma by Kevin Smith, that the buddy Jesus, when he's like, hey, like a little positive.
That's funny as hell.
But yeah, I appreciate the messaging on this album. Heaven's Gate is another one that I really enjoy. That seems a little heavy. Is that about your uncle, cousin passing?
My uncle.
Your uncle passing. Yeah. Reminded me of Thug's Mansion, which I actually just reacted to not too long ago. Because you're like, I hope you saw Tupac up there. Let me know. Don't lie. Like, I love that. talking to, having a conversation.
Yeah.
Really hit.
Yeah.
A Million Kisses reminds, I'm just gonna go through some of the songs here.
Yeah.
Million Kisses great storytelling, immaculate storytelling on that.
Thank you.
Reminded me of that song. It's great, man. Reminded me of Tammy's song from Section 80, in as much as you're starting each verse almost the same, and then you're telling a different story in each one.
Yeah.
And it all wraps together really well.
Yeah.
Apply Pressure reminded me of Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, damn, that's fire. I was watching your reaction. That was one of my favorite parts. Yeah, because I was just thinking, because it started making me think. Like, I'm like, damn, like these messages, they all the same in different forms, like just wanting to inspire people to, go do the thing that you want to do. Yeah, Apply Pressure is actually my favorite song.
It's great. I love it. Super motivational. That's definitely a gym song, for when I get into the gym finally.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, just do the thing. Again, I keep bringing up Kevin Smith. Do you know who Kevin Smith is, by the way?
I don't think so.
All right, I'll bring him
I might need to see his face.
You ever heard Jay and Silent Bob?
Mm-mm.
All right, so Kevin Smith, he made a movie called Clerks in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He's from New Jersey. And his whole ethos, like, he went to film school in Canada. He then left film school, came back home, sold his entire comic book collection, and took out loans from friends and family and the bank, and be like, I have a movie in my head that I have to make. And if I spend the rest of my life working at this convenience store, paying off these people for making this movie, it'll be worth it that I actually got this made. Mm-hmm. But he was lucky enough to get it into the Angelica Theater here in New York, and it got seen by someone at Miramax who picked it up, and his career began. Yeah. But he always says, go for it. Make the thing. Whatever it is. Everybody's got an iPhone now. You got a camera. You can make your movie now.
Yeah.
I was on YouTube before, but if you go from like oldest to newest, I'm just bringing it up for a second here. My video, can I even see it? Yeah. My videos are like 11 years ago, 9 years ago. I'm making like animations. I don't really know what to do. 7 years ago, the one video game playing through is
yeah.
And then 5 years ago, like 1 or 2 videos a year, because I'm a video editor for like the news in my job. So convincing myself in my free time, hey, sit down and edit for fun was difficult.
Yeah.
But then in 2024, at the end of the year, my beautiful, lovely off-screen fiance encouraged me after I saw the Joker 2 Folie à Deux, and had such a reaction. I've never seen people walk out of a theater. So I was like, I had a lot to say about that. And she was like, make a video. I'm like, yeah, but it's not going to be as good as all the other people I watch. And she said, just make a video. So I made the video. I spent time editing it. I was like, oh, it's not that great. It's not as polished as some of these other people, but I put it out. I felt okay about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I got this feeling. This creative juices are flowing.
Yes.
Again. And then I'm like, well, I'm watching the Penguin show. When that's wrapped up, I'm going to make a review of that, and it'll be better than the Joker video. And then GNX comes out, and I go, well, I missed the whole beef, but I can do a reaction to GNX, so I'm going to do that. And then it's just been consistent since then. Yes. So, like, folks, go make stuff. Make stuff, whatever it is. Draw something, write something, play with the beat maker on, what is it? GarageBand on the iPhone. Like, do whatever you want, man. Get your creative juices flowing. Get up, get out, and get some.
Yeah.
God, Why? Another one of my favorites. Reminded me of Brenda's Got a Baby. Not so much the like messaging, but like the importance of what you're talking about on that. Changes, keep your head up. I mean, again, the Tupac influences on this. And then
Thank
Love
you,
with My
bro.
Scars, which I think in my reaction was the only song that I was like, it sounds a little unfinished. I just
Yeah.
listened to it again and I'm like, I guess it's just my earphones.
Yeah, because it's an odd effect we put on it. It's
Okay.
like
You did put an effect.
what we drew influence from was Gorgeous by Kanye
Gorgeous.
West.
Oh, okay.
So
All
Kanye has this like kind of phone effectish, like rough kind of sound on it.
Mhm.
And I felt like even though he wasn't saying shit of importance in that song, it made his verse sound very important. And so I was just like, you know what? To highlight what I'm saying here, let's put that effect on this. And I loved it because I think when I first heard it, I was like, this sounds weird as fuck. But I was like, I feel like I just like it though. Like, just leave it.
And listening to it again, I'm like, I'm picking up more stuff in there. And I gotta ask you, why does Pharrell's Happy piss you off so much?
That's a great question, bro. So that's a great question because that's the centerpiece of the whole song. So what the song actually means is that I'm in love with the pain and the trauma and the sadness of my story, which you create your own story, but I'm in love with the pain, the trauma, and I just had a brain fart. Basically, in love with my scars is basically I'm in love with the pain. I'm in love with the trauma that I grew up in and that I come from, and I have made that my whole story, as if there isn't something bigger than that.
Right.
And I recognized that when I went through this and like emotional intelligence training thing that I went through. And it was one of my limiting beliefs was that my story was connected to the trials and tribulations of my family. And I was destined to go down the same path, or I was destined for tragedy. My end was destined for tragedy and destined for hardship. And that's what that song is. It's taking accountability for the fact that I'm the one that's deciding that this is how my life is, that my life is that it's going to be tragedy and going to be hardship and all these things are going to happen. I'm the one making that choice. Nobody else is making that choice for me. So that's why I say, trying to let go. I'm in love with my scars, but maybe I'm the problem. And then the Pharrell part is where I get into, because if you notice, first I say all the bad things. I get into the whole woe is me. Like, I'm not a good person, but I'm not a bad one either. Like, everybody, they forget about the good things you do, but they love the bad. They love to talk about the bad things you do. Right? I get into the victim, but then I check myself. But who am I without that story to tell?
Right.
Do I exist? I don't got an answer for real. Like, I don't know if I exist without that pain and trauma. But I'll admit, the pain is where I rap along. Like, my favorite songs are the sad ones. My favorite songs are the traumatic songs, the deep songs. Yeah. And Pharrell pissed me off with that happy song. And I realized, like, that song, I hated that fucking song with a passion. I despised that song.
It was everywhere. And I remember, was it just because it was everywhere, or was it the message? I never really listened to the message.
I hated it the second I heard it. Like, it was something about it. I couldn't understand why I hated it. And I think the reason I hated it is because it was happy. And the beat was happy. And it was all, and I was just like, for a long time, I used to call that type of stuff corny. But in reality, it wasn't that it was corny. I just didn't want to hear nothing that was happy.
Right.
I'd rather hear something that's darker, hear something that's like, but that's because I'm in love with my scars.
Interesting.
So that's what that's what that's about. You know what I mean?
Well, again, like I mentioned earlier, Weird Al is my favorite musician, living or dead. I encourage you to go listen to the song Tacky by Weird Al, which is a parody of Happy. It's great. So the last kind of bit here, I want to play a little section from this video from Culture United regular co-host, if you will, BK. Been loving her videos, and this is just the beginning of one. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's 20 minutes, but I just want to use this as a jumping off point to talk about something.
Niggas got Sean Corey Carter gonads so far up their rectal orifice that they hallucinated and thought not your savior, bitch. What's up, family? Welcome back.
Hey, shout out BK, man. I love BK.
BK is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is around the time of like the concert and the freestyle that he put out. And then the interview with who was it? The interview with one of his like longtime collaborators who was like, Jay-Z brought like getting money to black people. He taught black people how to get money. Fuck, I forget his name.
Was it recent?
It's recent. I want to say Lloyd Banks, but it's not Lloyd Banks at all.
Was Jay-Z in the interview?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay. It was just the dude was doing an interview about
he was dick riding like it was his job, which it might be. But I wanted to use that as a way to ask.
Yeah.
Because I saw that you were putting out, like, I'm going to go on this Jay-Z journey because I'm Gen Z and I didn't grow up with him. So I want to go.
And I was a Jay-Z hater for real.
Yeah. And so was I. And I am about 10 years older. And so I've been hating him for, like, as he was coming up with no real reason why. Yeah. Like, I just didn't fuck with him. Yeah. Kanye as well. Yeah. But I've been going through those albums as well. And boy, I am mean in those reviews. Like, both. I can't stop talking about how they're billionaires. Especially Kanye, yes. Yeah. With all the Nazi shit that he did. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to ask, where are you on your Jay-Z journey? And what do you think so far?
So Jay-Z is top. I think he's top 3.
Okay.
If I'm going just strictly off catalog. So actually I'll give you a little breakdown real quick. So first of all, my family does not like Jay-Z, never liked Jay-Z, thought Jay-Z was trash. My family thinks Jay-Z is genuinely trash. So when I was growing up, I just accepted that. I'm just like, yeah, Jay-Z's ass. Like obviously Jay-Z had some stuff that was like, you know what I mean? My mom's like not big on East Coast stuff unless it's like soul leaning. So that's why she loved Fugees. You know what I mean? She loved like, but if it's not like soul like that, almost like, that soul, like spiritual type, she don't really rock with the East Coast music like that. So that's kind of how I grew up. And Jay-Z is like a very strong representation of that. And so a lot of the stuff I heard from Jay-Z, I couldn't even like compute it in my ears. Like my ears couldn't even like comprehend what I was hearing. Like I was just like, what the, like he would just like, it was weird. But you know, he had like the hit records and stuff. Yeah. And then as I grew up, you had the whole Illuminati era when YouTube started booming. And Jay-Z was the forefront of these Illuminati videos. So that was my real, so that was my like real like, oh, so Jay-Z is like this
part of the Illuminati,
blood drinking freaking,
right?
You know what I mean? Like it was some dark stuff. Like it wasn't just like, oh, he's a rich man who does some. No, it was like Jay-Z and all these other artists are doing all this stuff, boom, boom. And I'm like, bro, I'm like fucking 11, bro. Like, honestly, that altered my life. That era of YouTube, I think it had to be some form of psyop because it quite literally altered my brain chemistry. I remember there was there was a before I started watching those videos and an after I started watching those videos. I remember walking around, going outside, and seeing like the bro, I'm so embarrassed to tell the story. You know the basketball hoops, like the ones that just be on the street?
Yeah.
We had a couple of those in my neighborhood. And you know the back of it where like there's like water you pour in so that it sticks?
Yeah.
There's like the circles, right? And it looks like an eye. I was like, bro, the all-seeing eye imagery is everywhere. Like even on the basketball, like bro, it fucked me up. It really fucked me up. And I started going to school and talking to my teachers about it. Like, do you know about the Illuminati? My teacher's like, yes, Jessahn, I've heard about it. And I started thinking, I'm like, wait, is she in the Illuminati? Like, bro, it was bad when I first started watching it. But that's where I was like, oh yeah, fuck Jay-Z.
Word.
I'm not listening to Jay-Z. Why would I listen to Jay-Z and he's doing boom, 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 right? But as I got older, a part of that I still kind of believed in a sense, but maybe not as dramatic. Now, where everything changed for me, and this is where a lot of people don't know this. Where did everything change for me? I actually was watching a Dave Chappelle what's it called? A Dave Chappelle special, right? And Dave Chappelle went on this rant where and this is right after the Diddy stuff. And Jay-Z, I got caught up in that situation with the lawyer where they said that Jay-Z had did that thing with the young girl or whatever. And then Jay-Z and them challenged him. And pretty much you find out that the lady and the lawyer had teamed up to extort Jay-Z. And that's when I first had my sign. I'm like, damn, like, I just believed that strictly off the fact of the things that I used to watch, like, back then. Oh, this is still going. Well, fuck it. I used to believe that some of this stuff strictly off the stuff that I would see back then, and then some of the messaging around, like, the stuff that celebrities do behind the scenes and all that stuff. And so, once I found that, I'm like, damn, I gotta like really dive into my thought process when it comes to this stuff and really, because this could be a fucking psyop. From that moment in time until now, that could have been a psyop, to where they have been preparing people to believe these things about certain celebrities in order. I just kept going. To believe these things about certain celebrities. To believe these things about certain celebrities, and I'll say it to you again. But I had this idea that, like, even that whole era of YouTube and how crazy it blew up, and the time that it blew up, which is right around the time where hip hop had started to have this major influence in the world. A part of me started thinking this could have simply been a psyop. This could have been an operation to put a check on the influence of celebrities and influencers, just in case they speak out about something. And then when the time comes, like Rome, to do away with the celebrities, boom, they drop the hammer. Here's the this and here's the that, boom, boom, and all this different stuff. And I know it's a lot more complicated than I could ever understand, but I also know that it seems like warfare. And when Jay-Z went against the lawyer, what's his name, Busby, and him and the girl had come together to extort Jay-Z, I believed it. When that first happened, I was in full belief, like, duh, it's Jay-Z. Right. But then as the things go on and you find out more and more that this is actually, I start thinking, I'm like, damn, like, now this doesn't mean that all these celebrities are just innocent of everything, but it's also like, I need to check myself. I need to check and really look into, this shit is a lot deeper than it seems. A lot of this stuff is just to put a check on people, and it be put warfare behind the scenes that these guys have no issue with. Like, oh, we need to take him down in order to get this deal. Or we need to boom, boom, to stop him from getting this deal so that he can eventually use his influence to come get us. Or it'd be a lot of warfare and shit going behind the scenes that, so I started thinking, I'm like, damn. And then I seen the Dave Chappelle special where Dave Chappelle's up there with and one thing that he said that really stuck with me was, when you're spreading these conspiracy theories or whatever, you're really spreading them, and there's not backed by anything that's actually fact or anything that you can actually see yet. Boom, boom. You're essentially spreading a virus. You're getting people sick. Yeah. And I really think about it, I'm like, damn. And I sat with that, and I really thought about that, and I'm like, that's fucking true. It's true. And that's when I really started to deconstruct a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And a part of that deconstruction started with the deconstruction of my belief of Jay-Z. And that's when I actually made a video on this on YouTube.
Yeah, I watched it. It was good.
And I really started to break down. I'm like, damn, like I started thinking, I'm like, bro, this could quite literally, I started thinking about all the people that this narrative was attached to. It's all people who are deemed as political adversaries of the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm like, holy shit, this shit get deep. And I'm like, okay, so I started to deconstruct that and boom, boom. And that allowed me to say, wait a minute, I also get to go listen to Jay-Z's music. And as I listen to his music and just separating the music from, you know what I mean, all the other things and the ideas of Jay-Z, I fully understand now why people have him as one of the greatest of all time, because he drops a lot of game, he drops a lot of gems. A lot of it is connected to capitalism, of course, and high hustler type, you know what I mean, whatever, and getting over on people or whatever. But it's also in the back of my mind, I'm like, as somebody that grew up with people in my life, and I just see, when I look at Jay-Z, I just see them sometimes. Like I see the hustlers who had to do what they had to do and took the ideology that's been fed to us as a society to survive and to build and to not be under the arms or guides of other individuals. So it's not to say I feel like Jay-Z's just this great guy, like this great innocent guy. Like, nah, I think it's I would argue that when you become a celebrity, the challenge of that is to maintain your humanity. And the more you go, the further you go, the harder it's going to be.
The longer you've been rich, it's very difficult. Like,
it's easier for a camel to, what is it?
To get through the eye of a needle than a rich man to get into heaven. That's one passage I remember.
yeah. And then you look at these celebrities, it's like they always talk about it too.
And especially if you're born rich, you're Elon Musk, you're Jeff Bezos, born as rich as he is now, but with a lot of privilege, then you'll never be able to relate, or Donald Trump, never be able to relate to regular people and be like confused when they're angry at you. You're like, what do you mean? You need water. I'm using it for my data center. What are you talking about? You can go buy bottles of water at the
store. Just go buy some water, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that type of thing. Like,
crazy.
And that's when it's also like it's all experience, man. Everybody's experience shapes their views.
So yeah, I got up to so what album did you get up to? I know they're mostly on Patreon. I know you got Reasonable Doubt on.
I'm on American Gangster right now.
Okay, so you got pretty far in.
Yeah,
I think the last one I did was the Blueprint, because I tried to do Blueprint and Stillmatic right at the same time as his concert was happening, so I could do the Takeover and Ether.
Yeah,
and boy, I understand why Ether is used as like a word now. Oh, I'm gonna Ether you. Oh, I get it. I understand.
Nas violated him.
It was crazy doing that, and like in the news, I'm seeing like, oh, they're like on stage together. They're buddy. In the back of Jay's head, I'm like, please don't make Ether 2. Please don't make another one.
I think the Blueprint 2 verses on the Blueprint 2 album is a way better diss than Takeover. I think Takeover is good. Takeover is actually very good.
Yeah.
And actually, but Ether is just so fucking maniacal. Like, but I think he probably would have been better off using the Blueprint 2 song as the diss, because that diss is way better. But it was too late. It was too late. It was too late.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
very too late. But it didn't hurt his bottom line much. So but yeah, man, I kept getting like comments that are like, dude, you're too mean on this. You're not really listening to what he's saying. And I really am trying. I am trying, but it is all colored by what I know about him.
Yeah.
And just how he's moved over the last 20 years. Same thing with the Kanye stuff. It's like, all right, look, one of my favorite Kanye songs, and let me finish about Jay-Z. My favorite Jay-Z songs growing up was Hard Knock Life.
Fire.
Because I like Annie, the musical. Yeah. It's a great musical.
Yeah.
And then re-listening to these albums, going up to the Blueprint, hearing I Do Anything from Oliver, I'm like, oh, he did another one. That's fun. I also liked, I think Cameron and Jay-Z, Welcome to New York, is the best, like, New York City anthem. Like, way better than Empire State of Mind, way better than the Rihanna one. Right. Like, Welcome to New York City from the title screen of True Crime Streets of New York from PlayStation 2. That is my fucking jam. So I like Jay-Z's songs, but it was, I think, the Big Pimpin' song that, and of course, a lot of his songs are just popular on the radio anyway when I was growing up. But Big Pimpin' was the first time I like thought about what pimping actually was. I was like, huh. Like the way you're talking about women, and growing up, I'm a little asshole kid. Right. So I'm like, girls are bad anyway. Fuck them. But I'm still like, this seems extra cruel, Right. And then seeing the movie Taken with Liam Neeson, and I'm like, oh, It's just human trafficking.
Yo.
So you're glorifying basically being like Jeffrey Epstein. And maybe let's get rid of that part of the lexicon going forward.
Right.
But yeah, so Kanye, my favorite song from Kanye is what is it? We Don't Care. I think it's like the first song on College Dropout or something. Like, hey, drug dealing just to get by, blah, blah, blah. And I like that. And I love the message. And I loved, I heard some of that kind of attitude on Jay-Z's songs. But, like, what have you done? What have you done for that? Like, are you just putting it in a song like you were saying earlier? Like, is this just the aesthetic because you think you need to do this to be a successful rapper and you need to talk about this stuff, or do you actually care about the culture? Last night on Culture United, again, I don't know why I keep bringing it up, but it was a good line. He said, like, there's a line on one of Jay-Z's songs where he says, he brings up the fact he was born on the day Fred Hampton got killed. And kind of making an allusion to like, oh, his spirit went into me, which I found kind of gross. I also found gross that right after Biggie died, he's like, I am the next Biggie. Just a lot of stuff around that time was kind of, Nas was respectful and did like a verse about Tupac and Biggie and how I miss you both and blah, blah, blah. And then here's Jay-Z, here's Puffy doing a fucking tribute song and like trying to make it about himself with that Sting. That was the first time I heard that Sting song. I didn't know who Sting was before that. And then
Diddy is
first of all, there's one Diddy, his last name is Kong. I hate that he changed his name because Diddy Kong is my favorite fucking video game. So I hate that. He's Puffy to me. He'll always be fucking Puffy. But like, so we made you, people bring up how Kanye said George Bush doesn't care about black people as like this signifier that he was about. But I'm like, this was a fundraiser telethon that you are trying to get as many people to send money as possible. And someone might have hung up the phone, been like, I don't want to donate money to this. I don't agree with that guy said about George Bush. Like that was an early indicator to me. He's trying to make this about himself. He doesn't care about black people either. He's trying to make this about himself. And then the next indicator was going up on the Grammy stage when Taylor Swift won when she was 19 years old. I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. I don't give a fuck. But like, why are you going to go on stage and interrupt her, take the mic from her and be like, Beyonce should have won? That's not your wife. That's not your best friend. Like, what the fuck was that? That was a way to get him attention. He likes attention. And then, of course, the famous TMZ interview where he's like, I think black people didn't break out of slavery on purpose. It was a choice. It was a choice. Why didn't you break out? Not me. It's like, and then, of course, downhill from there. But it just, him and Jay-Z, mostly like, again, I don't want to like lump them together. Like Kanye's his own fucking problem, but Jay-Z, it to me is in the same league as like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. Like you wanted to lean liberal for a while because that was, I mean, Elon Musk is in Iron Man too. He was hobnobbing with celebrities, is invited to the Oscars, all these things. Jeff Bezos as well. He bought the Washington Post, and there was not an uproar from journalists being like, oh my God, this is insane. It was like, oh, well, he's okay. He's one of the good ones, one of the good billionaires. And then you see how over time, if their interests aren't getting fulfilled, then they're like, oh, we don't care about fascism. We'll go with that. We'll see if that gets us what we want. So that's why I think I just don't trust anybody over $1 billion. Like you could have 999 million. I'm like, all right, you can still be kind of all right. But once you cross that billion, it's a line. You better be like trying to give your money away or
what's
trying to elect politicians that'll make it impossible.
I feel that too. And I think that what's interesting to me is So this is my perspective on Kanye and Jay-Z. Kanye, I genuinely believe what he said, what he was saying back then.
Okay.
I think that what happened was he changed. That's my perspective. I know there's a lot. I think there is a narrative that Kanye has always been what he is now, was kind of like just weeding through. I believe that Kanye was genuine. I think Kanye was genuine that whole time. I think George Bush doesn't care about black people was genuine, because I do think, even though I was young at the time, I do think that it was at a time where it was important for hip hop to say something. I think some hip hop artists took advantage of that, and they did. And I think it was important for Kanye to put that message out there. Now, as far as his intentions, I don't know, and I don't think we'll ever know. But I do know that I think he was genuine. I think the music that he made at the time was genuine. What I think happened is you gain more money, you gain more access to women, you gain more access to all these different things. You lose your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then now the only thing that's going to fill that void for you is more money, more women, more this, more that. And if you are not in control, if you don't have that self-control or that foundation to ground you, which should have been what he believed in, but I think he slipped away from it. And which I think is whatever you believe in can help ground you. And I think that, even him, a huge indicator was him going and getting with a Kardashian. It's like, okay, you've leaned all the way.
You made a song called Gold Digger, and you went and married one of the most notorious gold digging families.
You've leaned all the way into the lust and all the way into the idea of look at my trophy wife and all of this stuff that you're talking about.
My white wife, which he also says in some of his rhymes, I'm going to trade you in on one of the, I forget what song, but like, it's like, I'm going to go find me like a white bitch because it's a trophy. It's an indicator that I'm closer to whiteness, which is
to success.
Right. Success. Yeah.
And the trophy of it. And that's where it's like, for me, I think when you have all that and your mother and his mother is keeping him grounded, I think that's what's important. But once she passed, it's like, and I feel like the way she passed, I think it's something a lot of people don't talk about enough, that it's probably really dark for him. I think I'm pretty sure let me clarify before.
Yeah, while you're clarifying, I think you're right. I think maybe he was always this way. Maybe he meant what he said at the time. We'll never know. We can't see inside his heart. But also, as you said, like as you get more famous and more people around you are just telling you you're right, you're yes, and less people are telling you, hey man, snap out of it, dude. What are you thinking, man? This is a bad idea. But nobody's around to ground you, and you're surrounding yourself with yes men. Then,
and that's when you start to see. I genuinely think the only person that was checking Kanye was Kanye's mom. Yeah, and I'm saying that because of watching them when they're in interactions on camera and all this different stuff. You see, she is that check for him. So once she lost him, it became.
Then nobody can tell him nothing.
You can see it in the music. Yeah, you can see it in the music. It became like I'm Kanye. And that kind of perspective where you're not grounded by anything and it's just you, bro, we're all flawed. You can't be leading. You can't be the full-fledged yes or no in your life. You need people in your life that can see your blind spots and are around to point out those blind spots to you when you get to be susceptible to that. Kanye, after losing his mom, I don't think he had that. And I think and I think if he did, he probably pushed him away. And you can see that in the way, not only did his ego and all that grow like completely out of control, but the way he was choosing people and things to be around and what he wanted to be around. It's like, this isn't the Kanye that I listen to. And then I think that's where you get this Kanye today, where it's like he, you know what I'm saying? At that point, it's like, so then I think with Jay-Z, I think the difference between Jay-Z and Kanye is Jay-Z always told you what he was.
Word, yes.
And I think from the beginning, he's a crack dealer who automatically, and in my opinion, and I've had conversations with people who I know personally about this type of shit. When you deal crack, automatically you're saying fuck your community. And I understand that it's because of the conditions. This is just Jay-Z is the perfect manifestation of what comes after deassembling organization that's for the people and it's helping the people, and deassembling and dissembling or dismembering what is for the people. Jay-Z is the perfect representation of that. Somebody who goes and now has to continuously lead in a survival frequency, never in abundance frequency. I need more, I need more, I need more, or I'm gonna lose this, or I'm not gonna have this. I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more. That's really just survival in frequency. And I think Jay-Z has always been real about that. And I think that's why I'm like, the one thing I'm confused about, right? And I'm not saying you necessarily, is because I used to do the same thing. It's like, why Jay-Z? Why are we expecting Jay-Z to do anything?
Right.
When it's like, bro selling crack.
Well, I think it's lines like the I was born on the day Fred Hampton died.
Yeah.
You know that kind of stuff. The story of OJ, which I've heard about, haven't gotten to yet, but like, we're all black. It doesn't matter how rich you are. Just these signifiers that dude, listening to Reasonable Doubt for the first time and getting to the dead presidents, and I'm like, did you ask Nas that you could sample him? Are you trying to be adjacent to Nas and signify like, yeah, me and him are on the same kind of time and I'm just better at it, blah, blah, blah. And then in, I think, Takeover, he says, oh yeah, no, I didn't ask you. You said, no, I went to the person who owns the song. And it's like, yeah, because you're a capitalist. You don't care. You're like 50 Cent. Like, you're going to buy Puffy's footage that he shot for a documentary about how he's going to be exonerated, and then you're going to make a Netflix documentary, which I love that documentary. That's fucking great. One of the few things I like.
Yeah, bro. I ain't gonna lie. When you really when you separate the diss from what he actually said, it's like there's times where I listen to some of the stuff Jay-Z says. I gotta be honest, and I hear Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know people will probably cook me for that, but I think there's times where I hear some shit that Jay-Z be saying, I'm like, this is Drake.
Yeah.
Going sampling him.
Lot.
Yeah, sampling him and then being like, yeah, I used your voice. You was using it wrong. You made it a hot line. I hated a hot song.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I went to the publishing and all that different stuff. It's like, but with Jay-Z, it's everything you expect from like a nigga who is a true just hustler by any means.
Right.
And he always say it. By any means. In all these albums, by any means. He always been open about how grimy and how like ruthless and just
the whole gangster aesthetic, the glorifying Scarface and Goodfellas and Godfather, whatnot, because FD made a great video about this. I think it was FD made a video about New Jack City, the movie New Jack City, where that's kind of one of the first movies to portray a black gang in the way that the Italian gangs have been portrayed, like organized, structured, not just like ruthless animals, like menace to society or whatnot.
Yeah.
Or that Hillary Clinton said, super predators. Never forget the Joe Biden crime bill in 94.
As long as they ain't blue, it's all good.
Right. But yeah, so I lost it, but I got it back. The line they said on Culture United last night, I think it was a super chat, said like, yeah, Jay-Z wasn't lying about like born the day Fred Hampton died. It's the shift from the revolutionaries dying to getting replaced by the actors, the musicians, the things James Baldwin warned about when he went on TV and said, where are our black leaders? We don't have politicians. We don't have, spiritual leaders. We have jazz musicians. We have actors. Like, it's not equivalent.
It's a crazy responsibility. Yeah, it's a crazy responsibility to put that on the artist. But at the same time, I understand why we do, because there's been artists who take that role and then they do it. And then it's like, then we're kind of holding. I feel like sometimes I think a lot of that has to do with the revolutionary artists that came in and shared their message in hip hop, and kind of trying to hold other artists to that level. But I mean, I think Jay-Z, I don't think Jay-Z is like, I think Jay-Z has also done some things for the artists that are good. I think he's done bad things too for the artists that have sent hip hop in a direction where, you know, he's done a lot of different things. I think even like just, you know, the way he talks about sales and all that. And I think Tupac plays a part in this too with the Death Row era. But a lot of that was in competition with Bad Boy and not just, oh yeah, I'm selling this, so it's this. I think Jay-Z really had a big role in making that like the benchmark of who you are, where it's like, well, shit, I sold this, so what?
Right.
It wasn't really like he was necessarily at war with, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so yeah, Jay and Kanye, I believe, I look at Kanye's old music and I say, this is who Kanye used to be. And I look at the Kanye post that and I say, this is Kanye today. And then Jay-Z, I'm like, Jay-Z always been Jay-Z. And the music is great though.
Yeah. The first time listening to Reasonable Doubt and going through these albums, I was like, I didn't really fuck with the beats on that one too much.
I'm not big on Reasonable Doubt like a lot of people.
But I'm like, the lyricism, I get why this like caught people's attention at the time. Yeah. And then it only got better, and then the beats got a lot better. By volume 2, I'm like, you know, Hard Knock Life, I like that song already. Yeah. But like after that, I'm like, oh, I get it. Now it feels just fuller, more three-dimensional.
We gotta talk again when you get to Blueprint.
Oh, well, I got Blueprint. I did Blueprint. I think that's his best one so far that I did.
You heard the Black album?
Not yet, no. All right, we'll talk again for sure. Lastly here, because I know you're short on time and we've been going for quite a while, and I had a little technical difficulty.
Yeah, you're good. I kept going, so.
I know, I love it. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. I'm going to play this clip from KRS-One. I played it on my show yesterday, actually on Tuesday on this space, and this is a clip from an interview he did with Talib Kweli, and I just want to get your thoughts.
And I say this respectfully, this is the problem with white society, is that they have no control of their criminals. And it's that it's the bully of their community that's bullying everybody else.
Yeah, I say that too. I say, you know, white community, people in the white community who want to like talk about any type of marginalized community. Like y'all got a Nazi problem in the white community
straight up
that is threatening and endangering all of us.
Right.
So before you talk about any other community, that's an existential threat.
Well, see, now you're touching on the culture of white supremacy, where it's clear you're wrong. Let's say if we reduce ourselves to races, I'm black, we're black,
the social construct.
He's white, okay. If we reduce ourselves to that, and you see that one of these groups, the white group, let's say, is at the head of the world's corruption, imperialism, and out of control capitalism. If you see that, now you as a white person should say, my group is not ready for this. Let us step down. Let us step down from power. Let us allow others who might have a more ethical or moral approach to the situation, let's let them lead, because that's going to be better for all of us, including us. It's going to be better if we let the right people lead. But what's happening is white supremacy refuses to have the right people lead. It wants the white people to lead. So if you can't get the right people in office because of this white supremacist culture, then deal with it. And this is now the second piece. For those of us that seek truth, we only see truth. For those that seek the lie and the gossip and the scandal, well, that's what you're getting. Lie, gossip, and scandal. For me, this is a time right now of such great learning.
Yes.
Every history teacher should be here for it.
So I just want to get your thoughts on that. I think he's hitting a nail on the head there in terms of like maybe not so much just the race thing exactly, but people are looking for new leadership.
Yeah.
People are looking for new representation in government. People are looking for new musicians to look up to, new movies. We see the success of things like Obsession and Backrooms out box off, making more money at the box office than Star Wars, Mando and Grogu. Crazy, right? But I think we're just in this time of transition, 10 years of Donald Trump. And we're sick of it. We're sick of it, and we're looking for someone else, something different.
I ain't gonna lie, man. There's some points in there I agree with. I guess I'll touch on a couple of them. The point of telling white people to tell the leaders to step down and allow, I'm just like, that's just not possible.
Right.
Because that is the entire core of white supremacy. Like that's just not possible. It's not going to happen because they don't care about. See, this is the thing. I think this is where people get fucked up. My opinion, actually, I'm not going to act like I'm right. The white people in power don't give a fuck about the everyday white person.
Right.
That's why I think people we got it mixed up to where we think that the white people, the everyday white person is just a pawn. They don't genuinely care about the everyday white person. The only reason the everyday white person has the social or systemic advantage is because it aids the idea of the white supremacy. Outside of that, they don't give a damn about them.
Yeah.
And
all these cuts to USAID, all these cuts to the social safety net in this country, it hurts rural white communities too. The mail-in ballots that Trump wants to get rid of, that the Supreme Court is helping him get rid of. Old white people in rural communities who need to mail in their ballot because they cannot fucking get to the polling place on the day, which is a work day also. It's not like a national holiday, which it should be. But this is they hurt poor white people. But so long as they can convince the poor white people that, hey, it's not me hurting you, it's the immigrant coming over here. They're the one, they're trying to convince people it's immigrants buying up all the housing, not BlackRock, not these giant corporate entities buying up housing so that you can't ever own a house. You're going to have to rent forever.
As long as the everyday white person believes that they are an integral piece or they are genuinely special within the system of white supremacy, they're upholding it. But at the end of the day, that's only they're being manipulated just like everybody else. The everyday white person, I'm not saying they're in the same boat as everybody else, but they're also getting the scraps. There might be a plate full of some scraps on it, and they might get a little, like three of the crumbs or whatever, if there's 5.
Right.
But it's still, you still getting fucked over. So right. I don't believe in the whole white people are the, to white supremacy. No, they're pawns. They're used to make people, not only them, but other people believe that they're superior. That you don't believe white people are superior in a system where white people aren't superior. In order for you to make people believe that white people are superior, you have to create a system where it looks like white people are superior. That has nothing to do with people being white. It just has something to do with the people in power using people to push the ideology onto everybody. And that's really what it is. So that's one. I don't think white people can just be like, hey, we're white people. We're going to use our privilege to make you stand down. That will never happen. White people cannot use their privilege.
You're going to be labeled an anti-American terrorist and go right into the gulag with everybody else.
Yes. White people can't use their privilege to do anything in that aspect of, you can get out there and it looks good and boom, boom, and all that, trust. But at the end of the day, the same work that we would have to put, everybody's got to put in that same work. It's not you being white is not going to make a politician be like, damn it. Or make like the people in power, like the Rockefellers, like, you know what?
Maybe we should step back.
We gotta step back, man. They'll get rid of all of y'all, and then just keep moving.
We gotta fight tooth and nail.
The other point is, I agree with the aspect of this is a great time for change, and I agree with you when we talk about the transition. I believe we are going to transition entirely. I would argue that by 2032, we are looking at an entirely different society than we're looking at right now, and it will be in favor of the everyday individual. I don't know why. That's just how I feel.
I do too.
Yeah.
I've got my fingers crossed and I'm knocking wood, but like I feel the energy change.
Yeah. It's almost like divine. Because I think we're gonna realize how important art is, how important and through the art, how important the everyday person is, and through the everyday person, how important human rights are, and through human rights, find out how important things that challenge human rights are dangerous. And I think the everyday person just has to realize that a lot of people are living passively, and that's not because they want to, it's because that's all they can do. People aren't making any fucking money. People are barely getting by. You damn near have to live passively in order, like, people don't have room to care.
Yeah.
Because
you brought up Rome, you know, they try to pacify the masses with bread and circuses, but that doesn't work if you can't afford the bread and you can't afford the circus, and the bread is full of fucking worms because RFK is in charge of the FDA. And what's it going to take? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like with all of the conditions that are going to force a change are here and they're happening now. And I think that is the case. So I agree with them on that point. The other point was them talking about what was the very first point was
I say this respectfully.
Let me throw it back up there.
Yeah.
This is the problem with white society, is that they have no control of.
I agree with this too. I think that to an extent, but I think it's a part. It's an integral part of white supremacy to ignore the faults of the white society, right, and impose that on the other society. And this is all. I'm learning, and I'm basically paraphrasing from Neely Fuller Jr. Like Neely Fuller Jr. has this incredible breakdown of white supremacy, like to where he's breaking down to a science, and it's the 8 steps, the 8 different not the 8 steps, the 8 functions of white supremacy. And turning the faults of the white community onto all as if they don't exist within the white community is a huge part of the wheel turning.
Right.
So when they say they need to have control of their criminals, I understand that from a social perspective. Like on a social perspective, there should be more challenging to, you know, the Nazi aspect and the racist aspect and the and all these different things in order to control, you know, or put out the fire to people dehumanizing people because of race.
Right.
But at the same time, that is also an integral piece of white supremacy itself. It has nothing to do with the everyday white person. And the reason why I say it's nothing to do with everyday white person is because I believe while we do look at each other and we automatically create these ideas of each other because of race and stuff like that, the only reason that it can be imposed is because of white supremacy. That's the difference.
Right.
There's a difference between racism and prejudice. Not prejudice.
Bigotry.
Well, I guess it would be prejudice. But there's a difference between me saying something about you because of your skin and me doing something about it because of your skin.
Me passing a law.
Yes.
Yeah.
Complete difference.
Right.
The first thing is normal. That's just gonna happen. I'm gonna just look at this person and say that person is not black and have these ideas that then I would probably just go talk to them, hang out with them, and find out, well, actually, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
But it's another thing to be like, that person is not black, or boom, boom, or a white person looking at me and saying that person's black, so therefore I'm going to make sure that person can't get this job. Right. That's different.
And I don't want to see that, so I'm going to criminalize whatever they're doing so that I can put them in jail.
Exactly.
And I don't have to see them now.
One is something that's damn near human nature. The other thing is imposing that human nature because of the power that you have.
And can be education and learning and just building community, and that can be broken down. Racism can be broken down. Prejudice can be broken down.
Yeah.
And what's it going to take? It's going to take community. It's going to take 1 million hearts. I think we brought it home.
Yeah,
I think that was a pretty good way to do that.
that was fire.
Folks, go get Jassann's album, A Million Hearts. Buy it. Where is it available?
Everywhere. I'm gonna put it on. I'm uploading it to Bandcamp in the next couple of days too for the people who don't stream. I'll be uploading to Bandcamp so people can, because people hit me like, yeah, I don't use streaming platforms. Like, I want to buy it directly. You could buy it on iTunes, but I think a lot of people prefer Bandcamp, so I will be uploading on Bandcamp. But everywhere else is literally everywhere else you can imagine.
Yeah, I resisted I had a bad habit for a while of making a reaction video and buying the album right then and there because I really liked it. Now, I think my track record is pretty good, but there's a couple albums that I'm like, I don't listen to that. I didn't need to spend $10. I literally bought it today. I need to listen to it again, and I'm walking the dog. It's so good.
Thank you
love
so
it.
much. Thank you so much.
The other ones that I did this week, Rhapsody.
I still ain't played it.
It's man, that one I'm like withholding my fingers from purchasing that one as well.
What I've been hearing is like
it's so good.
One of the best
it reminded me
albums
of Jill Scott's album from earlier this year, To Whom It May Concern, which is also like, beautiful.
Okay.
And then the one today I did, Jira's Rope Burn. I really enjoyed that one, and I'm also like, my fingers want to go buy it right now, but let me hear it a couple times, and make sure. And times is tough, money is tight. And where can people find you online?
So Jessahn Amaru on YouTube. Jessahn Amaru Speaks for my commentary on hip hop. Jessahn Amaru just for music related stuff. Then you can do Jessahn Amaru on Twitter, Jessahn Amaru on Instagram, Jessahn Amaru music for strictly music stuff on TikTok, and Jessahn talks hip hop just for hip hop conversation on TikTok.
All right.
So
cool, man. Dude, thank you so much for coming on. This was a blast.
Thank you. It was a great interview, bro.
Again.
When you upload it, send me the collaboration request.
For sure. Absolutely. Thank you very much, folks, for watching. Again, go get his album, A Million Hearts, and thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.